Hello everyone and a very good morning to all of you and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know, from Monday to Thursday 11 a.m. in the morning, we come up with the Hindu analysis. Today is 3rd April, that is Wednesday. Am I audible? मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Hello everyone. Okay. So these are the two articles. Enforcement Directorate can summon anyone for any information, says Supreme Court. The next article is Sanjay Singh gets bail, no trace of money trial found. The Supreme Court. So these two are actually the things we will be discussing it. So let's discuss this. Actually, the Supreme Court ordered 4 Tamil Nadu district collectors to appear in person before ED on 25 April. So raps them for not responding to agency summons, says they have no respect for law, court and constitution. See, what happened was actually the Enforcement Directorate had summoned 4 district collector या DM जिसको कहते हैं district magistrate, है ना? District collector और district magistrate are same thing, ठीक है? On 25th April है ना? So but they were actually saying that we cannot do it. तो इसमें देखो अगर आप पढ़ोगे तो the bench said that under section 50 of PMLA, we have discussed it earlier also, that Prevention of Money Laundering Act is the law under which Enforcement Directorate works, है ना? So under section 50 of that, the Enforcement Directorate can summon any person whose attendance was considered necessary for giving evidence or production of records. ठीक है? So any person, मतलब even the district magistrate can also be summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, है ना? And the court was not happy that the district collectors were actually expressed their inability that they could not appear in front of Enforcement Directorate. So the court was actually not happy. So Supreme Court says, endorse the sweeping power. Endorse मतलब supported है ना? Supported the sweeping power in बहुत high power, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा power है ना? So sweeping powers of the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the central agency could call anybody for any information, even as it castigated 4 Tamil Nadu district collectors for failing to appear in person response to a summon issued by them by the anti-money laundering body. Anti-money laundering body, they are talking about Enforcement Directorate, because its main job is to ensure that no money laundering should happen in the country, है ना? No money laundering should happen. Okay, that is what you should be knowing it. So the Tamil Nadu government and the collectors informed a bench headed by Justice Bela Trivedi that they had written to the Enforcement Directorate expressing their inability to appear in person because of Lok Sabha elections, which is due on 19th April. So actually the 4 DMs, the district magistrate, have said to the Enforcement Directorate that right now we cannot appear because we have to conduct election. I hope you are aware that the district magistrate becomes the returning officer, है ना? So whenever in district election happens, because we'll be having election very soon, so the district magistrate becomes the returning officer and he has a lot of power and responsibility, especially as far as elections are concerned. So he has to do a lot of things. So that is what they are saying. Justice Bela Trivedi that they had written to the ED expressing their inability to appear in person as the Lok Sabha election in Tamil Nadu was due on April 19. They needed more time to collect information sought by the central agency. So they had asked for more time, but the Supreme Court was not happy and said that no, you have to appear it in front of the ED. So the collector said information was sought not in their offices but had to be collected from other branches of district administration. So collectors ने, district magistrates ने ये कहा कि this is not, the information which has been asked is not directly from their office, but they have to collect it from the different offices and then tell. So these are the things. However, the Supreme Court refused to accept the district magistrate or collector's explanation, and Justice Bela Trivedi said their conduct showed a scant response for the court's order to appear in person before the ED and all. So it means the judge was not happy with the DM district magistrates. Okay. So these are the things you should be knowing. Their conduct shows that these officers have no respect for the court, law, and much less to the constitution. So actually the judge was not happy. Okay, so I hope you are aware Enforcement Directorate has been very much in the news, so you should be knowing it. It is an economic intelligence agency, part of Department of Revenue under Ministry of Finance. The focus is on investigating, prosecuting cases related with money laundering, foreign exchange violation, corruption, economic offenses, black money and all. Okay. And it has power under these 3 laws, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. So these are the 3 laws, So Ministry of Finance के अंडर में Enforcement Directorate it works, ठीक है? There was another article on first page. Sanjay Singh gets bail, no trace of money trial. Supreme Court, So Sanjay Singh is actually an Aam Aadmi Party MP, and he was arrested in some case, he was given bail by the Supreme Court in the Delhi liquor policy case. And Enforcement Directorate chose to make a tactical withdrawal rather than risking an order from the top court, which may affect the trial later. So basically, Enforcement Directorate did not actually oppose the bail as such. Okay. And that is what is being talked about. After a day of hearing, Additional Solicitor General ASG, I hope you are aware, देखो ये तो आपको पता होगा, the senior most lawyer of the central government is Attorney General, then below it is Solicitor General, and below it you will find a lot of ASGs, Additional Solicitor General, like that. So the Additional Solicitor General SV Raju appeared for the ED, told a 3-judge bench led by Justice Sanjeev Khanna that the central agency has decided to concede it in favor of granting bail to the Rajya Sabha MP. So basically, they themselves, the lawyer of the government or the ED, themselves said that okay, we are actually we do not want more custody, so you can give them bail. So basically, the Enforcement Directorate did not oppose the bail being given to Mr. Sanjay Singh. Okay. So these are the things being talked about. So Mr. Sanjay Singh has been behind the bars. Behind the bars means in jail for last 6 months, and with no headway made in process. We need to know if further custody is required or not. So the bench asked, so that is what. So finally, he has been granted bail by the Supreme Court. Let's move on. Before moving on, guys, on 14th April at 11 a.m. in the morning, we'll be having a scholarship test. If you qualify, you will get up to 90% off. And this is 2025 comprehensive course. 380 plus hours of live session, 300 plus recorded video, 55 plus mock test. So if you have any query, call on this number. And this is a 2024 test series. So if you have any query, call on this number. Now the next is, why did the center turn a blind eye to Patanjali's COVID cure claim? Asked Supreme Court. Okay. So what happened was, be ready for action, Supreme Court to Ramdev in misleading ads case. So actually the Supreme Court was not happy. Supreme Court refuses to accept Patanjali's Ayurveda's apology in contempt case, warns Baba Ramdev of perjury. So what is perjury? So perjury मतलब होता है एक तरह से misleading the court, like that, or saying wrong information in front of court. That's perjury. So a case can be initiated against the person who has done it and all. So what happened was actually the Supreme Court actually was not happy with the Patanjali, the founder of Patanjali, and its founder, Mr. Baba Ramdev and all. And in fact, the Supreme Court was not happy with the union government also, that why did the union government did not stop these ads and all. When the Patanjali said that they have given a panacea to COVID. Panacea मतलब क्या होता है? इसको हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं हर मर्ज की दवा. So solution to all the problems, or heal to all the problems. Yeah, solution to all the problems. That's called as panacea. The court turned the heat a notch higher on Baba Ramdev, and also the court was not happy actually with Baba Ramdev. So actually what happened was, Indian Medical Association IMA had filed a petition against Yog Guru Baba Ramdev. So what happened was, especially आप देखोगे dates, so when there was second wave was happening. So that was in the news that Indian Medical Association had filed a complaint against Baba Ramdev and all, because he had commented something adversely on allopathy medicine and all. So that was in the news and all. So the bench of Justice Hema Kohli and Justice Hasanuddin Amanullah said, told the government led by Solicitor General, that file a detailed affidavit. ये पूरा ठीक से नहीं लिखा है. File a detailed affidavit to dispel the impression that the government, both the central and central government, were complicit with the Patanjali. Complicit मतलब होता है कि we're not doing much, or actually silently involved or something like that. So the Supreme Court has said that please explain us, so that we can get convinced that the central and state government were not complicit in this when the Patanjali was doing the misleading ad and all. So that is what it was in the news. The product advertised by Patanjali were supplementary to the main indication and all. So the court asked, why did the government not inform the public at that time when the COVID was there and all, especially during the critical months of pandemic in 2020 and 21. So these are the things it was in the news. ठीक है. So यही सब था न्यूज में. एक रूल है, ड्रग्स एंड मैजिक रेमेडीज ऑब्जेक्शनेबल एडवर्टीजमेंट एक्ट 1954. सो है ना कि मिसलीडिंग एड्स वगैरह केस यही आता है. सो इफ यू आर मिसलीडिंग, डूइंग अ मिसलीडिंग एड्स रिलेटेड विद मेडिसिन एंड ऑल, सो दिस लॉ विल कम इनटू इफेक्ट एंड ऑल, है ना, विल बी यूज्ड. So just have an idea. 7-8 workers killed in Israel strike in Gaza. Again, so it has been in the news. I hope you are aware. So Israel-Palestine conflict. So here is India. This is Israel. And यहाँ पर Gaza है. So basically Israel actually is attacked and also that is why it was in the news. An Israeli airstrike killed 7-8 workers of World Central Kitchen. So World Central Kitchen क्या है? देखो एक NGO type का है. It's an NGO established by Spanish American chef Jos Antes, and it provides food for those who are actually suffering from hunger or war or affected with let's say famine and all. So this is an NGO. Okay, so आप देखोगे 2017 hurricane में है ना, then Turkey Syria earthquakes में, ongoing Gaza crisis में है ना, then even actually Kharkiv, you will find Kharkiv in Ukraine and all. So at these places the World Central Kitchen actually goes there. It's an NGO which provides food and all, providing meals in the wake of natural disaster. So they were also providing meals in Gaza, and the bombing happened, and 7 of their workers also died. So that is what it was in the news. And hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are on the brink of starvation. Starvation मतलब you can say भूख से death, है ना, death due to hunger. So that is what you should be knowing it. Okay. So on the brink of मतलब एकदम इस पर है, like it's on the edge, means कि it's almost going to become the starvation point and all, and people will start dying because of hunger. So this is World Central Kitchen, established in Washington DC by Jose Andres. The next is ships still laden with some 240 tons of aid that arrived just a day earlier turned back from Gaza according to the Cyprus. So Cyprus ने ये कहा कि जो ship आई थी कुछ aid के लिए गाजा में, so उसको वापस भेज दिया गया. It was returned back according to the Cyprus. That is what the article says. Israel has only allowed a trickle of aid into devastated northern Gaza. A trickle of a very, very small amount. So that is according to the article. Expert says that famine is imminent. Famine means death due to hunger is imminent, and it is very possibility is very high that people will the famine will be much prevalent in Gaza and all. So that is what you should be knowing it. Okay. So from 12th to 21st April, we'll be having a all India open mock for MSCT. So do attempt it. Download our app, go to CLAT section and attempt this. And if you're watching our class, go to the description box. Okay. And there is one-on-one counseling session. The link is given there. So click on this link. You will get this Google form, and everyone should fill this Google form. You will get to know more about our courses. The next is editorial. So Gaza war needs a smart exit strategy. Okay. अब देखो क्या है कि the author is talking about this, that recently the UN Security Council for the first time passed a resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza during Ramadan. Okay. Earlier resolutions were blocked by USA due to veto by USA, but this time the USA has decided not to use the veto. Okay. So UN Security Council demands immediate Gaza ceasefire as US abstains. Abstains मतलब so neither say yes nor say no. दोनों में से कोई भी नहीं, तो तीसरा वाला होता है abstain. ठीक है. So I will not vote. That's the idea. So basically, I hope you are aware the UN Security Council has 15 members, permanent 5 and 10 non-permanent members elected for 2 years, है ना? तो ये जो 10 है non-permanent है, and these P5 are actually permanent members. They have power of veto. It means one of them say no, it will become no. The resolution will be blocked. Okay. So basically, what was happening is when there was a resolution was coming earlier regarding Gaza ceasefire, the US was using veto and it was blocking the resolution. But this time the USA has decided not to use veto, and that is why the 14 countries other than USA decided to abstain. The 14 out of 15 countries passed the resolution for immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Okay, so here, so yeah, Israeli wala Gaza hai. Okay. So the resolution this time drew mixed reaction. Israel was the first to react. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alleged that USA had abandoned policy of its United Nations. So Prime Minister of Israel was not happy. Israel also cancelled the visit of its ministerial delegation to Washington. So there was a proposed visit where the ministers were supposed to go, Israel's minister were supposed to go to USA, but they have decided not to send. So US came out later on with a statement, said that UN resolution is non-binding in nature, making a mockery of the whole process in UN Security Council. तो USA ने बाद में कहा कि नहीं, जो UN Security Council का resolution है वो non-binding in nature है. That is what the USA said later. However, अगर आप देखोगे UN के बहुत सारे actually if you see in the past, the UN Security Council has taken a lot of decisions which has become binding and all. बट बहुत बार उसको मतलब नहीं भी फॉलो किया गया, ठीक है, स्पेशली इन रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर ऑल्सो एंड मेनी अदर केसेस, ठीक है। तो रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर में तो रशिया हैज ब्लॉक्ड द रेजोल्यूशन बिकॉज रशिया इज वन ऑफ द P5 members, but in the past in many other cases even the UN Security Council passed a resolution, but it did not had much effect in the ground, ऐसा भी हुआ है, ठीक है। So that is what is being talked about here. So Hamas on the other hand had initially welcomed the ceasefire resolution, however it reiterated मतलब दोबारा to say again, said that the permanent ceasefire accompanied by complete withdrawal of Israel forces is required. Means that complete permanent होना चाहिए, not only for Ramadan or for a particular month, but for the permanent ceasefire should happen and the Israel should withdraw the military forces from Gaza and all. So the war grinds on with no assurance that the ceasefire will actually take shape. The focus is now back to the joint efforts of Egypt and Qatar. These countries have been separately negotiating for an early ceasefire. इसके अलावा इजिप्ट और कतर सेपरेटली नेगोशिएट कर रहे हैं इसराइल से. सो here is Egypt and here is Qatar. So both are separately trying to talk with Israel so that the ceasefire should happen. So the ceasefire मतलब stopping of war should happen. That's the concept. So these things you should be knowing it and all. So it lands. There is a Ashifa hospital. You will find it in Gaza. So there are reports that attack has been launched again on Gaza and all on Ashifa hospital. So these things were in the news. Meanwhile, Hezbollah has intensified its missile strike on northern Israel. ये सब पूछ सकते हैं कि Hezbollah is an organization from which country? Houthis in the south continue to disrupt and block Israel, US and British ship in Red Sea. So Houthis are from Yemen. Hezbollah are from actually Lebanon. ये सब हो सकता है एग्जाम में पूछ लें. So here is Lebanon. So the Hezbollah is attacking from here also. And then they are talking about Houthis. So ये तो मैंने कई बार डिस्कस किया Houthis के बारे में. कहाँ चला गया मैप, है ना. जैसे if any Israel ship is coming like this or US की या UK की ship यहाँ से आ रही है ना, in this region, US, UK, Israel ship coming in this region are being attacked by Houthis. Houthis are a rebel group from Yemen. ठीक है. So these are the things you should be knowing it. और यहाँ पे सुइस कैनाल है ना, from Egypt, so they are crossing. So यही है रेड सी, है ना, जो लिखा ना कि रेड सी से. So these are the things you should be knowing it. And Lebanon say Hezbollah is attacking Israel. So Hezbollah is based in Lebanon. So these are basic things. ये facts आपको पता होना चाहिए खाली, है ना. The Gaza war resulted into the loss of 32,000 lives in Gaza. So almost 32,000 people have died. And recently, Israel strike in Syria targeted Iranian consulate in Damascus also, killing a senior officer of Iran, military officer of Iran. जैसे ये news आपने देखा होगा that what happened was कि Israel attacked यहाँ Damascus है ना, the capital of Syria, यहाँ Iranian embassy में. So Iranian embassy was attacked where a senior army officer of Iran was killed and all. So these things were in the news. So the war, so they're talking about that they have started counter-offensive after October 7th attack and all. They want to eliminate Hamas, but these things are coming in the news, and they wanted that Israel, Gaza should be flattened and all. So these things are there. So he's saying that eliminating only 30% of an estimated 30,000 Hamas fighters. So Israel has actually not succeeded completely because as far as Hamas fighters elimination is concerned, only 30% have died, according to this, the author is saying. What the author is saying, okay? So these are the things. Hamas still have the supply of rockets, ammunition. That is what the author is saying. Okay, now एक और चीज ये कि yes, now Mr. Netanyahu's hold actually domestically and internationally is getting weak and all. तो ये सब reports आ रही थी कि even the Israelis within their own country are not happy with their prime minister and all, because of course the war has happened, so many people have lost their lives, economy, business, trade, many things got affected and all. So Netanyahu's popularity plummets मतलब होता है goes down further, says new polls and all. So ये सब चीजें न्यूज में थी. फिर एक साइड में आर्टिकल थी buoyant GST revenues create a chance to prioritize its overhaul. अब देखो ये क्या है, they are talking about GST revenues, है ना. So basically देखो ये तो हर कुछ दिन पे actually keeps on changing, the GST, है ना, GST collection and all. So you are not supposed to remember each and every one. Just remember the fact that which of the following constitutional amendment brought GST? 100th amendment, 101st, 103rd, 105th. What is the right answer? कौन सा constitutional amendment GST लेके आया था? Anyone? The right answer is 1 and first amendment, ठीक है, याद रखिएगा. And B is the right answer. When do we celebrate GST Day? 1st August, 1st July, 1st September, 1st December. What is the right answer? GST Day कब celebrate किया जाता है? The right answer is option B, 1st July 2017. So B is the right answer to this question. ठीक है. So just have an idea. Poll campus in India must reflect climate issues. ठीक है. So now the author is here talking about that whenever you talk about elections. So election में बहुत सारे मुद्दा होता है ना. So election is fought on a lot of so they give the political parties write in manifesto that I'll be doing this, that, and all. So the author is saying one of the things that needs to be discussed in election is the climate issues as well. The climate पर भी बात होना चाहिए, ये भी election का मुद्दा बनना चाहिए. Climate issue and all. Okay, so that is what the author is saying. Recently, the State of Global Climate Report came led by World Meteorological Organization, and it said that 2023 was the hottest year in the record history of the planet and all. So WMO की जो report आई वो कही है कि 2023 जो hottest year था. So why? Because of course global warming and all phenomena like that. Now, WMO is headquartered in where? Geneva, Switzerland, Paris, France, Berlin, Germany, Rome, Italy. What is the right answer to this question? WMO कहाँ headquartered है? Anyone? The right answer is Geneva, Switzerland. मैंने बताया WMO, WHO, WTO, and ILO. These all are headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. So A is the right answer. ठीक है. Okay. So अब एक और article, एक और question है. The X long-term goal, temperature goal is to keep the rise in mean global temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, preferably the limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius, recognizing that this would substantially reduce the effects of climate change. तो ये कौन से किस अग्रीमेंट में साइन हुआ था? क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल, पेरिस क्लाइमेट अग्रीमेंट, मॉन्ट्रियल प्रोटोकॉल, वियना कन्वेंशन. व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर? एनीवन? The right answer is Paris Climate Agreement. ये वाला जो टारगेट है, this target was actually done and discussed in Paris Climate Agreement. So B is the right answer है ना. तो वही बता रहे कि WHO report says that 2023 was not only the warmest year, but was one where many records were breached. है ना, बहुत सारे records तोड़ दिए गए थे. Records for a rise in ocean temperature, glacier retreat, diminishing Antarctic ice cover were also broken. तो बहुत सारी चीजें हुई. Environment which is not considered as very good, heat waves, torrential rains, tropical cyclones got increased and all. So these are the things being talked about. WMO report is therefore extremely worrisome, making it imperative to trigger collective public action, something similar to what happened during COVID-19 pandemic. You know? So of course it's a very serious thing and we have to fight this, another issue of climate change and all. हाँ, तो ये बता रहे कि जब से इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोग्रेस हुआ सिंस मिड 18th century, यानी 1750 से इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन स्टार्टेड, सिंस देन वी आर सीइंग द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ हैज इंप्रूव्ड, नो डाउट, बट मैकेनाइजेशन एंड टेक्नोलॉजी हैज इंप्रूव्ड आवर लाइफ, द क्वालिटी ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लाइफ, बट स्टिल एक्चुअली वी आर एक्चुअली डैमेजिंग द एनवायरमेंट मोर, है ना. तो ये वाला जो गोल है which was Paris result of Paris climate agreement, but it came into force in November 2016, है ना. So COP21 था ना, Paris climate agreement. So it talked about that the temperature rise should not cross, and the 1750 say comparison में, by the end of century, the temperature should not cross more than 2 degrees Celsius, है ना, as compared to the pre-industrial level of 1750s and all. ठीक है, so these are the things. इसको मैंने डिटेल में पेड क्लासेस में I have discussed in detail in the paid classes because these are important things and you should be knowing it. है ना. तो इंडिया ने क्या क्या किया भाई? NAPC, नेशनल एक्शन प्लान ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज, दे हैव डन. नेशनल सोलर मिशन वाज वन ऑफ द मिशन दैट केम अंडर NAPCC. इंडिया हैज आल्सो अनाउंस्ड नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन, मेकिंग अ स्ट्रांग कमिटमेंट टू द एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन. So thus, although the Paris Climate Agreement has seen a positive intent of action from different nations, the latest WMO report raises fundamental questions. So जो latest WMO की रिपोर्ट है वो ये पूछ रही है कि क्या हम लोगों ने बहुत देर कर दिया ये सब सॉल्यूशन लाने में. So these are the things being talked about. Now, election season as an opportunity. So the author is saying that since there is an election season, this can be also be made one of the issue in election. है ना. One of the issue can be that climate change. मतलब political parties should talk about it that okay, if I will come to power, we will ensure that pollution should be reduced or something like that. So he is actually focusing on that as well. ठीक है. Then here is an article, is the Kachadivu Island disputed? So ये हम लोगों ने कल yesterday we have discussed it that Kachadivu Island is here. ठीक है ना? So when the British was ruling, it was controlled by British Ceylon. So British government जो Sri Lanka में थी वो rule कर रही थी, but there was a confusion. So in 1974 finally it was decided that Sri Lanka would be owning this. है ना? This may dispute, I mean the political disputes also happened. We are not going in that detail, but इतना पता होना चाहिए because that can be asked. कि Kachadivu Island is in news, so you will find it in which street? So it is actually near Park Street. ठीक है. And Sri Lankan media hits out at Modi, says Jaishankar at Kachadivu remarks. So actually Sri Lankan government was not happy with the Prime Minister of India or the Foreign Minister commenting on Kachadivu Island and all. So yesterday in yesterday's class we have discussed about, yesterday and day before yesterday we have discussed Kachadivu Island. So go and read it. ठीक है, ये हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया है. First batch of 64 Indian workers from Haryana and Uttar Pradesh leaves for Israel. So I hope you are aware. So people of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh are actually going for Israel for employment purpose and all. So these are the things. है ना? India risking demographic dividend एक ही आर्टिकल है. अच्छा, demographic dividend क्या होता है? देखो, पहले आपको ये समझना होगा. What is demographic? Demographic means anything which is related with population, है ना? And dividend means benefit के sense में, है ना? So it means actually basically it is referring to that demographic dividend means huge youth population, है ना? So India has a huge amount of youth population, and if we provide them education, skill, jobs, and proper health facilities, then of course they will actually drive the GDP growth further, which would be helpful in for us. However, the author is talking about jobless growth, and also the World Bank says from 2000 to 2022 India's employment ratio fell by more than in other countries and all. खैर इसमें इतना नहीं जाना है डिटेल में, but I have an idea. एक concept होता है jobless growth का, where actually the GDP is growing, but the employment is not getting generated proportionally. So employment crisis is still there, still the job unemployment is there. So this is called as jobless growth. Now why it is problematic? Because we have a huge youth population, and when we have a huge youth population, we have to provide them employment. This is very important. Otherwise, if they are unemployed, then of course there is a probability of the crimes might increase or something like that might happen and all. So these are the things you should be knowing it. Okay. Iran vows to punish Israel for attack on embassy complex. Vows matlab kasam khana. So what happened, we have just discussed it, that Israel has actually attacked in Syria, and Damascus is the capital of Syria, where actually Iran's embassy is there. Okay. So Iran was not happy, and also Iran's supreme leader has said that Israel will regret this crime and all. So these are the things you should be knowing it. So download our app, go to CLAT section. You will get to know about our courses and unlock your 3-day free trial access and all. So 7th April at 6 PM we'll be having a free session with Abhimanyu Sir, Roadmap to CLAT 2025. 10th April at 6 PM we'll be having session with Alpha Ma'am, Why Choose Law as a Career. Then 21st April with Abhimanyu Sir, 24th April with Alpha Ma'am. So these are some of the free sessions. Download our app, go to CLAT section, talk to our counselor पे click करो, you will get to know more about our courses. ठीक है. और एक 28th April को भी we'll be having a scholarship test at 11 AM in the morning. So if you qualify it, you will get up to 90% off on all our paid batches. So please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download the BYJU'S exam prep app. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.